Have you ever stopped to think about what really makes a hospital safe? It's so much more than just shiny floors, you know? It's this whole hidden system, a powerful unseen shield against microscopic threats. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and explore the incredible science of hospital cleanliness. Let's dive right in.
Seriously, think about it for a second. When you walk into a hospital, you just expect it to be clean. But what does that word even mean in a place like that? Well, a hospital's definition of clean goes way, way beyond what you or I can see, deep into a world we can't.
So, to really get this, we've got to start with the basics. We have to get the language right. Because in a hospital, cleaning and disinfection, they are not the same thing. Not even close. They're two totally distinct but absolutely vital steps in keeping every single patient safe. Okay, so here's the fundamental difference, and it's super important. Cleaning is physical. Think of it like wiping away visible dirt and grime. You're physically removing it. Disinfection, on the other hand, is basically chemical warfare. It's killing the invisible germs that get left behind. And here's the key. You have to do it in that order. You can't disinfect a dirty surface. It just won't work. You've got to clean it first. All right, with that in mind, let's zoom in on the first layer of this whole defense system, the patient's immediate environment. This is ground zero. This is where the battle really begins, in the very room where healing is supposed to happen.
The absolute front line in this battle is what experts call high-touch surfaces. And the name is pretty literal. These are basically the superhighways for germs, anywhere that hands from patients, staff, and visitors might land and, spread contamination. And we are talking about the most everyday objects, things we'd barely even notice. The bed rail, the call button, the light switch, that little bedside table. Every single one is a potential germ hotspot. And that's exactly why they get constant, focused attention from the cleaning team.
So how do hospitals even manage this? Well, they have two key strategies. First, there's routine cleaning. That's the daily upkeep that happens while the patient is in the room. But then there's terminal cleaning. This is the deep clean, the total reset button that gets pushed after a patient leaves, all to make that room perfectly safe for the next person.
And just look at the level of detail here. Even something as seemingly simple as mopping follows a super strict protocol. That figure-8 pattern, it's not just for looks. It makes sure that no spot is missed. And using a separate rinse bucket isn't just for show. It stops the staff from just spreading dirty water around. It's a simple but brilliant way to prevent cross-contamination. And it gets even more specific than that. A mop used in a bathroom should never be used in a patient's general area. To make this completely foolproof, they use a color coding system. Red for the highest risk areas like toilets, blue for general spaces. It's a visual, simple, and incredibly effective way to build another layer into this unseen shield. Okay, so we've gone from the room itself. Now let's talk about the tools. Not all medical equipment is created equal, so you can't just clean it all the same way. Hospitals use this really clever system that is based entirely on risk. This is all organized by what's called the Spaulding classification system. It's actually pretty simple. You've got non-critical items, like a stethoscope, that just touch skin. They get low-level disinfection. Then you have semi-critical items, like an endoscope, that touch mucous membranes. They need a high-level disinfection. But then you get to the critical items, anything entering sterile tissue, like a scalpel. And for these, they must be completely sterilized, no exceptions. And that brings us to the final frontier, the highest possible level of decontamination there is, reserved for those critical, high-risk items. We are now talking about sterilization. And here is the key difference. Disinfection gets rid of most harmful microorganisms. Sterilization gets rid of everything, all forms of microbial life, even these incredibly tough bacterial spores that can survive lesser cleaning methods. It's the absolute guarantee of microbial death. So for any items that can actually take the heat, the gold standard is steam sterilization, which uses a machine called an autoclave. It's fast, it's incredibly effective, and it leaves behind no toxic residue, which makes it the preferred method whenever it's an option. But here's the problem, right? What do you do with all the complex, delicate equipment that would just be completely destroyed by the intense heat and pressure of steam? I mean, think about sensitive electronics or certain plastics. You can't just throw them in an autoclave. And this is where these low-temperature solutions come in. You've got ethylene oxide, or ETO. It's great because it can penetrate packaging, but it's toxic and needs a long time to air out. Then there's hydrogen peroxide gas plasma, which is faster and safer, but it doesn't work on materials like linens or liquids.
So you see, it's this constant balancing act between getting the job done, not damaging the equipment, and keeping everyone safe. So, as we wrap up, you can really start to see how all of these pieces, the definitions, the protocols, the classifications, all fit together perfectly to form a single, comprehensive system of safety. And this is really the core takeaway. It is not just one person mopping a floor. It is an entire coordinated shield. The person wiping down a bed rail, the technician loading an autoclave, the nurse choosing the right disinfectant. They are all part of a multi-layered defense system, working together to protect every single patient. So the next time you're in a hospital, I really hope you see it a little differently. It's not just a clean building. It's a dynamic environment protected by this incredible unseen shield of science, procedure, and just an unbelievable attention to detail. So I'll leave you with this. How does this change your idea of clean?